All right. Hi. All right. Sorry, I was setting it up on my computer so that I can follow up. Can you guys hear me? I see that Lise is here, and Tsukaboo, and Beth, and Ellen, Buxapaint, and Malvina, and San, and Heather. Hey Heather, I'm really happy to see you. I have kind of a small a story thing to do before actually starting the stream today. So I will give it perhaps a minute more, and then I will start telling my story, and meanwhile I will drink some cold brew. Ah, this is good. Hey Judy, hey Misha, hi. Hi Bunny-chan. Alright, let me switch visuals and I will start telling the story briefly, and then we will move on with the stream as usual. Okay, so what you'll be seeing on the screen, if it works properly, is a really handsome young ginger tabby cat. And I want to tell his story, because some of you might have followed bits of it on the Discord, and I know I talked about it with Heather and Otto, and perhaps others will remember him, but I want to quickly share his story, because it really affected me, and I want to talk about it because it's kind of a big part of my life right now. So what happened is that a couple of weeks ago, on a Tuesday evening, I was... Hey Otto! Hi! Yay! Alright, so on a Tuesday evening I was reading in the living room next to the window, and I heard meowing outside, and I wasn't sure it was meows at first, because it can sound like a baby at times, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just a baby crying, but it was definitely a cat meowing. So that went on for a bit, and I was like, this is a lot of meowing. So I grabbed some snacks and I ate it out, and sure enough, I was met with this little guy outside. And he came running up to me, and he was super cuddly, and he was starving. He was really hungry. He ate all the snacks I had. I gave him all the treats because I figured it's not really a problem, since he is an outdoor cat, that he eats all the treats, because he might need all this energy. So anyway, he eats all the stuff. I spend a bit of time with him, but then I'm like, well, I gotta go home, you know. I mean, I fed him. I let a water ball outside. I left it outside for him, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go back in. So I go back in, but the cat, he would stay just outside a window. He sat like just on the outside of the screen, the mosquito screen, the bug screen, and he was there. He was just sitting and looking inside and going meow, meow, meow. So I talked about it with Mr. E, and we were like, that guy is sort of way too nice to be left outside. So we decided to bring him in and to give him a place for the night, and that tomorrow I would head to the vet with him and get him scanned, see if he has a chip, see if he's fine, see if anything is wrong with him. And initially we wanted to possibly keep him, because he was the most adorable cat ever. Like, it's the most adoptable cat I have ever seen. He just loves people, and he loves pets, and he just wants to be with people. So we bring him in, put him in the bathroom, and set him up with like a temporary litter box, some food, some water. And yeah, and he really didn't want to be left alone. So I ended up spending the night with him in the bathroom. So not the most comfy of places, but he sure enough made up for it by his cuteness and his purrs. Like, he would purr non-stop. The only times he stopped purring was when he was falling asleep. And he would start purring again as soon as he woke up. And yeah, so he was like the most adorable kitten ever, but we soon realized that there was a problem with our other cats, because I already have 2 cats, you know them, Scout and Pecco. Both females, and females tend to be a bit more territorial than males, and also a tortie. And you know, torties are super temperamental, and Scout didn't take up to him at all. She hid in a closet, she wouldn't even come out for food. We had to bring her food to her so that she would like chomp it all down. So that was kind of a problem. Like, we are not set up in this apartment. I don't have a room I can use only to isolate one cat and keep the others like separated. And besides, he wouldn't want to be alone in the room all the time. Like, he would be miserable trying to get waiting for the other cats to be fine with him, and that might take some time because my other cats didn't want nothing to do with him. So we realized that we could not really keep him, and that just broke our hearts because we were already in love with him. Like, how can you not? He still is. He's the most adorable cat ever. Like, he super cuddly. He purrs, he's no problem, he's not difficult, he plays with everything, he wants to sleep next to you. I mean, what? And he's really, really cute and soft and fluffy. So, yeah, so basically what I did the next morning, I put him in the carrier and I went to the vet with him. And there we scanned him and he had no chips, no microchip. So basically, it was kind of impossible to know if he belonged to anyone. There's often like lost cats posters in my neighborhood, but none of them featured his face. So yeah, we were faced with a situation where we couldn't really keep him, but didn't want to put him back outside. I mean, that cat, he proved to me in a very obvious way that he was unable to find food outside. So yeah, so it was one of the most difficult things I had ever done, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, but I had to sign him up for adoption. And the clinic was awesome enough in that they have a really, really tiny adoption kind of sub-feature where they take just 1 or 2 cats and try to find them new homes. Since they have a pension for cats, they can house the cats that are waiting for adoption there and try to find them new homes. And when they saw just how adoptable and adorable he was, they decided that they would take him on. And I was like, fine, I'm gonna sign him up for adoption. And I know the story ends well, but I'm still getting really emotional about it. And it was so difficult because I wanted to bring him home, but I could not. And I had to do what was the best for him. And what was the best for him was not necessarily what I wanted. I was really, really, really sad about never seeing this guy again. Because I spent like not even 12 hours with him and I was already super attached. So that was really difficult, and I had a really tough week that week because I had to go there and I set him up for adoption, and the clinic is like too far enough that I can walk there with a cat, but it's close enough that I can walk back home. So I was walking back home with my empty carrier, and it was a super great day, and suddenly it started raining and thunderstorming on my ass, and a part of me was like, yeah, that's appropriate. Like I was all my energy was towards not bawling my eyes out on my way back home. Like, wait until you're home to become a disaster. And then it started raining down on me and there was a thunderstorm, and I was like, yep, this is I'm not even trying to not they take the rain. Like I was like, this is really on spot on in terms of weather according to my mood. So yeah, I got back home and I was a mess. Hello darkness, my old friend. That was the actual soundtrack of that moment, honestly. So yeah, I came back. I went to see the vet like first thing in the morning. So I went back home and I still had like a full day ahead of me. But I was really like not in any place to do a lot. I basically cleaned up the bathroom because we didn't know if the kitty had any kind of parasites. Oh, and I forgot this part, but we had purposefully not named him because we knew that if we could not keep him, it would be like, I know it's a psychological thing, but the fact that we had not named him kind of didn't make it permanent to us. But when I was at the vet and I had to fill up the paper for adoption, they asked me to name him, and that's when I imploded. That was really like the moment where everything broke loose. So yeah, I come back home and I clean everything, put everything in the washing machine and the dryer, and I'm like, what a day, you know. And the next day was a bit better because the thing is that the day I spent with the cat, I didn't sleep much. So the next day I was running on very few hours of sleep and very emotional stuff happening. So I was a mess, and I was too much of an emotional mess to be able to sleep, because the moment I would try to sleep, I would get really sad. I would just think about him, and then I would start crying, and it would back up in my sinuses and be really painful. So like, absolute fail of a day. Eventually at night I fell asleep. I had a decent night of sleep, and I woke up the next day and I was a bit better, but I was still very, very sad. And I started talking about the cat to my friends. And I was like, oh, we would have kept him. You have no idea how much we wanted to keep him. And I spoke to my friend, and I have a friend who had 3 cats, but one of them was very ill recently, and they had to say goodbye to her. So, like, she knows cats. She's had to say goodbye to a cat. So I was talking with her, and I sent a picture, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at this young guy. He's so cute. He's so adorable. And as things evolved over the next few days, she and her boyfriend sort of fell in love with the cat, and they decided that they would try and see if they can adopt him. So they called the clinic. They talked about the guys. They filled out the forms. They filled out the paperwork. They went and met him. That's over a few days, and I was really trying not to get my hopes up, because I was thinking, if my friends adopt this cat, that means I'm gonna see him again. And I don't know if it counts as selfish, but I was really trying not to put any hopes into this, but it was very difficult because I wanted to see him again. I mean, he is one of my sons, technically. Like, he will forever be a part of me, even if I had him for just a few hours. I mean, it was a really, really influential few hours. So yeah, so I was following up on this, and I was trying to egg my friend on a bit at the beginning. I was like, he's really sweet, and he would really have a fun time with you guys and your other cats. He would have like 2 cat brothers and awesome humans and all of that. And it didn't take much convincing, but it didn't take any convincing. I mean, the cat is really that cute. But yeah, ultimately my friends adopted him this week. So I'm super happy about this, honestly. Like, the most selfish / best outcome would have been for me to keep him, but that was not gonna happen. It was not possible. If we had no other cats, maybe we could have kept him, but that was not gonna happen. But the fact that I will be able to see him again, that I know for sure that he has an awesome home, awesome humans that will love him, and they already like are deeply in love with him, and he's gonna have awesome cat brothers to play with, and I'm just like overwhelmingly happy. So yeah, so I wanted to share this story because it's not a lot of time, but it has a huge impact on me, and you guys know how much I love cats. and I really love this one, and I am super, super happy that he's gonna have an awesome home, and that I'm gonna be able to see him again, if I'm honest. I mean, I doubt he will recognize me at all, because he's just a cat, you know? And cats, I mean, as much as I love them, they are not the brightest tools in the shed, if you know what I mean. Like, I have 2 cats, and I will be the first to say that they are fairly dumb. But I'm really happy that I was able to make sure that this little guy, who would not have done well outside, found a great home. And if he's lucky, if he's not like too dumb, and if he doesn't like run away, because he wants to explore everything, so he is his own worst enemy in this, but he will be fine, and he will be loved, and he will have a great home. So I'm super happy. I have some extra snot and tears too. Hold on, I need to blow my nose. All right. Like yeah, excitement doesn't mix well with English. That's a fair point. He is super friendly. Like, he's friendly with everyone. It's baffling that no one like brought him in first before me. And I know he's just gonna be happy to see another human, regardless of if he remembers me or not. That's not. I know I remember him, and when I will see him, I know that he will be happy and well fed, well taken care of. He will have like all the pets he wants, all the toys he wants. And yeah, so this story has a nice ending. So thank you guys for letting me share this story. It was important for me to share this, because there are chances that it will possibly have an effect on paintings. Like, I might draw this guy. If he had been adopted by someone else, maybe I would not have been in a place where I feel I can draw him without getting super sad. But now that I know he's gonna be really comfy, and he's gonna be fine, and like, I know for sure, so I feel really happy about this, and I might draw him. So alright, let me switch back to the camera and alright. If we were all in the same place, we'd need a mop. Aww. Well, those are happy tears, right? This is a nice story. It ends well. And I mean, it would have been fine regardless, because the clinic, they wouldn't have him set up with people that were not nice. And he's a good kitty, and he's gonna have a really nice life if everything goes well, but yeah. All happy tears. He would make the most awesome rogue adventurer doing magic tricks with all the fingers. Yeah, he has like his paws really look like mittens with the thumb, you know. So yeah, I'm kind of stalking my friends now for like saving every picture of the cat to my computer and enjoying every single one of them, and really makes me happy. So I mean, I still love my cats. That doesn't... It would be foolish to assume that I have a limited amount of love for cats. It runs deep. I vote for third pick with... I have sneezed. Look. I think the third pick, he is a very chatty cat. Like, he meows a lot, and I think he was expressing a lot of opinions to Mr. E when he took the third picture. He has a name. It evolved a lot, but now he's named Linus, and it's a name that fits him really well, I gotta say. Hey, Cleo, hi! Cleo says, I rescued a kitten once from under the floorboards of a basement. Ah, yikes. And she really does remember me years later. Well, tolerates me instead of ignoring me like she does all other people except her human. Yeah. It fits really, really well with the cat. Like, he went through many iterations and many names, but Linus kind of really, really matches him well. Someone better get him a security blanket. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, I couldn't all while all this happened, I couldn't help but think about the fact, and you've heard me say this at least a few times, but how cats, they find their humans, not as much as humans find the cat. Like, you can choose a cat, and like the cat's gonna be happy and all, but sometimes cats really choose you, and it's like they feel there is some connection, and they feel you will be a good human for them. And I was telling myself that Linus kind of chose us because he knew we would at least help him get to a better place. In a really positive manner. I know this is sometimes associated with really sad stuff, but I mean, find him a good home and have him fed properly. Because while he was outside, I think, like, when I had him here, if you guys have pets and cats, you know that you kind of have to check their litter box activity to make sure everything is okay. So while he was here, I was keeping an eye on that, because it would have been easy to see if he had parasites or if he wasn't doing well and all of that. And he peed fine, like that went really well. But when he went to the litter box to do his other business, I was really surprised. I was expecting like a nightmare. I was like, oh no, I'm stuck in the bathroom with this cat, and he's gonna go to the litter box and it's gonna smell like death. And I'm not gonna be able to air this out, so I'm gonna smell cat poo for the whole night. And that was my like expectations. But he went to the litter box and he pooped a piece of rope and a piece of plastic. And it didn't smell anything because there was nothing digestible in there. And I was like, oh, oh no, poor guy. Poor guy, he was not able to find food outside. Like, maybe he tried to eat some garbage, but couldn't figure out what was the food and what was not the food. So, yeah, that made me kind of sad for him. I was like, oh my god, poor guy. You've been trying so hard and failing so much harder. Yeah, he had been eating whatever he could get his hands on, and that really showed. So I was happy to feed him real food. But also I was like, dude, you cannot stay outside. He was skinny. Like, he was not excessively thin, but I could feel all the spine and the ribs when I was petting him. Like, it would have taken only a few more days for him to get really, really skinny. Oh, Tsukabu, that's what I mean. Tsukabu says, when we adopted Rowdy, we walked by his kennel. He tried busting down his door to get to us, and the volunteers said he never reacted that way with anyone else. Yeah, that's what I mean when cats choose you. Hold on, I need to mute this thing. What's up? Oh, okay. Mute. There we go. No, I mean mute the whole thing. Aww. Well, Heather, they know, they can feel you're a cat lady. They know they will be safe with you. Oh my gosh, this is good. Alan says, when I adopted the cat I had as a kid, she practically barked at the door of the cage in the Humane Society. Loudest meow on a cat ever. When we got the cat I had as a kid, something similar happened. Like, we went to the SPCA, and there was a litter of kittens there, and he was the one that came up to us, so that's the one we got. Scream at human till they adopt me routine. That's pretty much it. So there is one thing we'll never know about Linus, is how he ended up outside my door meowing. A couple of things could have happened easily. Like, he is a really, really curious kitty. So he likes to explore everywhere, and his current humans are telling me that they have to keep an eye on him because he really wants to explore outside as well. So that's possibly what happened. Maybe his previous owners, like, he wanted to explore outside and kept exploring and got lost. So that's a thing that might have happened. There's also a possibility that he was dumped because he was too much of a kitten to watch out for. Like, he was too exploring, too much energy, too much play, too much cuddles, if that's such a thing. If someone tells me that a cat is too cuddly, I'm seriously gonna have a doubt about the nature of that human being. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so, I mean, like I said, I checked the places where people either report their pets are missing and ask if the local community has seen them, or I checked, like, the neighborhood for posters, but there was nothing. So I'm not quite sure how he ended up being outside, but he was definitely not feral in any way, so who knows. Yeah, I don't trust humans who don't love cuddly cats. That's just weird. Like, someone can be scared of cats. I can understand being scared of cats. I would hope that someone who is scared of cats would be open to the idea of working on that fear and getting to a point where they are no longer scared of cats. But if someone is, like, rejecting cat cuddles for no real reason, that's highly suspicious behavior. Heather says, like Havoc and Bruiser, both were at very high risk of a bad outcome. Havoc was in a triangle of grass near 10 lanes of traffic, plus turn lanes, and Bruiser was being hunted by mean neighbor dog. Yeah, they needed, like, some rescue action going on. Scared or allergic, really, that is acceptable. Yeah. I mean, most people who are allergic that I've met, they love cuddly cats. They just won't let it happen because they don't want to have a crisis. Which is even more sad. Like, it's not about not loving it, it's about not being able to have it. A bit like a food allergy. Like, most food allergies are not about things that someone hates. They're about something that if they eat, they will be really, really, really ill. Hey, Grouchy! Hi! Hey, Stevie! Yeah, I know a couple of people like that. Like, really allergic, yet they still cuddle the pets. That's love. A preventative Benadryl or EpiPen at hand. Oh my gosh, EpiPen is kind of an extreme length to go to, just to make sure that allergies are okay. I'm kind of bummed I don't have any cats here today. Hold on, let me check up on them. What's happening, Mom? There you go. I don't know if she will stay, but I tried. Oh, that's great news, Ellen. Yay. Ellen says my town just had a cat cafe open. They've already adopted out six cats. That's awesome. Yeah, Peko is a bit confused about me moving her chair to here, but hopefully she will settle right back down and sleep. She's confused. Hmm. That's a good spot. Alright, I think we're good. Toute belle. T'es donc bien belle. Bébé, moi. It's the Peko donut. Hey, the monkeys, hi. Cinnamon roll, yeah, she's a good contender for the title of cutest cinnamon roll. She even has the patterns going for her. Hey, Temple, hi. It's been a while. We used to go to a really good cat cafe here in Montreal, but it closed down and we were so bummed out. I used to go with one of my friends and we would like regularly go there. They had awesome vegan donuts, like really good donuts. And yeah, but it sort of closed for a really long while due to some family problem, and then it closed down for good. And we were so bummed out. Like, I mean, I'm really sad that the owner had to deal with family issues and all that. That's not great, but I'm also really sad that this great place closed down. They had one resident cat and a roster of cats that would rotate as they were adopted out. Ah, Picotti cute. Yay, thank you. I love my pencil too. It's Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service with the white cat, whose name I cannot remember at the moment. I am trying to figure out what to doodle today. Like, I am not quite sure I am ready yet to draw Linus. So I'm thinking about either if I'm ready to do it, what could I do, or what else could I paint? Hey, Alina, hi! Yeah, it's very, very tempting to boop her white spots, though. There's something really weird going on with the white spot on her back, the arrow. Um, the hair is kind of less thick than anywhere else, so we try not to scratch her there too much because we can really easily see the skin throughout. And there's not any like rash, or there's nothing weird about the skin under there, but it's usually they don't have excessively long fur, but it's really nice and thick because it has a lot of really, really fine hairs, like a lot of them, but not that spot on her back. So we're not sure what we call this, her porcupine hairs, because they're sort of less soft and more sparse than anywhere else. And she's not the one with the allergies, that's Scout. Scout is having really bad allergies at the time, and she's really scratching her face and her ears and her eyes, and she's sort of removing all the fur from her face. And we don't really know what to do about it. Like, we have a kind of a gel we can put on her that I tried to do, but she often like removes it right away, even if we try to distract her with something else. And I was like, maybe we should get her one of those donut type cones, like not the cones, but the donut thingy you put around their neck. And Mr. E was like, well, can you imagine being this itchy and not being able to scratch herself? And I was like, yeah. She's a cat, she cannot understand that she shouldn't scratch herself. And if we give her a donut, she's gonna scratch herself against furniture. She's gonna find a way because it's still gonna itch. It's not gonna stop itching. And we don't know for sure if it's seasonal allergies or if it's because we had to switch to a different flavor of the same type of food because they discontinued the food we were giving her before. Anyway, the day they invent a way to run like diagnosis machines on pets, they're gonna make so much money off of that. And do not touch the sleeping Becco. Hey, Cyan, hi. How's your back? Hey, thank you so much for stopping by, Temple. I hope you have a great weekend. Oh, it maybe wanted to censor it because of the word prick. But in this case, it's the proper word for it. Oh my gosh, Cyan. Oh my gosh, don't stay up 50 hours playing. It's not... Oh my... Ugh. I'm too old to even think this could be a thing. I used to play WoW a really long time ago, and it was basically all the stamina I had for MMOs in my life. I still play Guild Wars with Mr. E, but it's not the same kind of dynamic of MMO. Like, you can still pretty much get stuff done, most of the stuff done, like 95% of it on your own. You don't need to play with other people to get ahead of stuff. And a lot of it is instanced, so you don't have to fight for like resources on the map and all of that. Like, it's a... To me, it's a lot more fun as an experience than WoW was. WoW was fun because we played with friends, but ultimately I got so fed up of doing, what was it, dungeons? I don't remember, but blech. Blech. I can't, not anymore. Like, there's a couple of things like that it feels like I had a certain amount of stamina for them and I used it all up, and now I'm like not even remotely interested anymore. Same thing happened with the JRPGs, Japanese RPGs. I played the whole of Final Fantasy VIII, and then I was only able to play a bit of 7 and 9, and I was like, you know what, this is not for me. Oh yeah, raids. Oh god. Sorry if you guys like it. Honestly, I don't mean to throw shade on people who really enjoy this stuff. If you enjoy it, it's there for you, and I hope you're having a really fun time with it. But now I know that it's definitely not for me, and I just can't imagine myself doing this kind of thing. Inktober is October, so next month. Oh my gosh, raids. The raids were a nightmare. It was not... You know, I always try to not do things that don't bring me any joy. And at some point I realized that raids were not bringing me any joy. So I stopped. 2 of my friends got straight up divorced because of raids. Are you for real? Oh my gosh, this is so extreme. This is so extreme. Oh my gosh, it's a bit like how MLMs ruin friendships and all of that. You're like, what? What? I guess it makes sense too. Like, if people get married through MMOs, I would assume you can get divorced through them as well. Or because of them. Still love the classic Final Fantasy because of the lack of human interaction required to play them. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was weird because when I got Final 8, I really went like 1000% in it. I maxed everything. I maxed the characters, I maxed all the magics. I did you had 2 islands. You had the island closest to heaven and the island closest to hell that were basically just what's the word I'm looking for? Like extra places you could go to if you wanted to only fight characters like monsters. And I grinded this stuff until everything was maxed out, and I finished the game, and then it's a bit like I was like, okay, you did this one, you did this like to 100%, and like my friends were playing the other ones, and it was like all hyped and everything, and I was like, I'm gonna give them a try, but bleh. I never finished Final 9 or Final 7, and the rest of them just did not spark any interest, so blah. My other half always insists I play healer for any MMO. Aw, that's a shame, Box of Paint. Yeah, healer classes, they're kind of... I think Guild Wars is the only sort of MMO game where I've seen healers being useful on their own, because you can sort of respect them easily, so you can sort of respect your character to be something a bit more efficient. Sorry. Ugh. Sorry about that. Unnecessary evil. It's interesting. Tsukebu says, only game I play with others online is Mario Kart for the Wii. Hey, Jen! Hi! Jen says, I'm a Pac-Man era girl. I watch my kids with the realistic games and they are like movies. That's really true. It's a bit insane, actually. Stevie says, if I want to run around the bus, healing and get a cheap shot in every 10 minutes, I would like to do that in the privacy of my own shameful existence. Thanks. Hey, Gekonia, hi! Oh my gosh, it's been a while. Blue that lifts easily. You can try possibly a genuine cerulean. Genuine manganese blue if you have it. But ultramarine blue, if that's the kind of view you're going for, kind of lifts easily usually. Trying to think if there's a blue that is not granulating that lifts easily, but I think Otto might know about that a bit more than I do, because of all the color showdown. Hey Alexandra, hi! It can be granulating. Well then I would look for manganese, as long as it's maybe not the PB15 hue, possibly. Cerulean blue. You could possibly mix like a turquoise teal color and ultramarine. Oh, manganese is such a gorgeous blue. I try not to think about it too much because there's not any left anywhere except possibly in Dan's stash. And I'm all bummed out because I know that when I will run out of this color, well, nothing exactly measures up to it. That just bums me out. Oh yeah, granulating colors will usually lift easier, and really smooth and staining colors usually go together. I don't know why they stopped producing manganese blue. The usual reasons are things like the main source of demand for it stopped demanding for it. Say it's a color that's no longer used for making cars, so there is not enough demand for it to keep producing it. Sometimes it's because it's really complex and toxic to produce certain pigments. So yeah, it can be a few things. Why do Dan's paints smell so good? I think he uses clove oil in them. It's supposed to help as a preservative in paints. I think Ame from Eventually Everything Mixes, and a couple of others, like I don't have, trying to think, but I don't have the name in my face right now. They use clove oil, so it makes the paints smell like winter stuff, basically, you know, like holiday thingies. I know that Otto, me, and I'm pretty sure that Sela Paint Co. don't use clove in their paints. That was delicious, and made even more delicious since I was using this super mug. It says, "Are you kidding me?" inside, and cracks me up every time. I'm always like, bah! Yeah, Otto gave me that kitty mug. It's a very good fit. I just, personally, why I don't use clove oil is that, well, I don't find it in any of my paints. Like when I buy Daniel Smith or Holbein or Sennelier, they don't smell like clove. So I was like, well, I can understand why you'd want to use it, but I want to try not using it. And so far, I haven't really had a need for it. Like nothing has mildewed, nothing has gone bad or anything. It smells good. It smells really good. I don't give a sip. Ah! That's such a good mug. I have so many mugs, but I can't resist a good mug. Like I'm a mug addict. If I add absolute say in what is my kitchen, I would have like no plates or very few plates if I find some awesome ones. A couple of bowls and like a lot of mugs, and we will all drink out of mugs for everything. We have glasses, but I never use them. I'm like, well, you can drink juice out of a mug. It's super handy. It even has a handle for you to carry your juice around. Who needs glasses? Glasses are boring. Yeah, never too many kitty mugs, I agree. I'm kind of obsessed about enamel mugs lately. I had gotten a really nice one from the Victoria and Albert collection, but it got here with a really significant chunk of the enamel missing. I don't know if you can see this here. So I've, instead of returning it, because I'm not a fan of returning stuff, like if I return this mug, they're gonna bin it. And if they bin it, it's gonna end up in the landfill somewhere, and that kind of sucks. And I was like, well, I'm always in need of mugs to put pencils in it, so it's not gonna be a drinking mug, but I'm gonna see it all the time anyway because it's gonna be on my desk, so good enough. Otto says also oil isn't ideal for watercolors. If you ever get those split spotty effect, it's because it's got oil in the mix. Yeah, oil and water, they don't really work well together. No such things as too many kitty mugs or sparkly things. Yep. Yep. Also, when it comes to handmade watercolors, I can understand why Ame would want to use clove oil in her paints, because she has a vegan approach to making paints. Usually, honey is enough of a preservative, especially it's recommended to use raw honey, and that will work perfectly fine as a preservative in handmade watercolors, and it's not gonna have any adverse effect on the paint or anything. Since Ame wants to make vegan paints, she had to come up with her own preservative formula, and that might be why she ended up using clove oil. But if you use honey, technically you don't really need to use clove oil as well. It's not necessary, as far as I can tell. I've made some paints myself, so that's as much as I know. Yeah, that was one of my worries too with the clove oil, is that I know enough people who are sensitive to smells that I would kind of love to be able to craft paints that don't have any weird smell. Not that clove is not a weird smell. I love the smell of clove personally, but I know that some people will be like, well, I can't have this because it has clove in it. And one thing that bothers me is that I see a lot of handmade painters handmade paint makers that don't necessarily specify if their paints have a scent or a smell to them. And you guys know of the smell test, and I feel bad enough when I forget about including the smell test. Well, usually if I forget, it's because the paints didn't smell anything, but I think it would be important to include the fact that paints have this clove scent or not. Otto says, I've had paints that have clove oil as the preservatives go moldy. You think mine has a faint sweet smell? Hold on. Let's put my nose into paint. So I have a special tin for all my Otto paints. So, and it has cats on it, and it's labeled Otto, and it has a heart. And it's teal. Like, the only way I could have made this more Otto-esque, I think, is if I had a pink, like a PV19 colored tin. Oh, they are so pretty. They smell like honey. They smell delicious. Like, you really have to put your nose really close, but they smell like honey. Yeah, I don't have any seal stickers, unfortunately. I would have so put a seal on there. Hey, Heather, welcome back. I'm glad that all the pets are taken care of. Paint sniffer anonymous. Not so anonymous. Let's put my nose into paint. Yeah. They smell really good, Otto. I gotta say. Oh, that heather honey smells amazing. Hold on, I have a couple. I saw that I have Dan's palette here too. Let me smell those. Yeah, those really smell like clove more. Yep. It's a faint smell of clove. It's not like assaulting my nose right away, but it's there. Do I have any other? Well, I have Ame's paints. You've already established that they smell like clove. I have some redwood willow here. Oh my gosh, Otto, I'm so envious. Otto says, I just spent a few days hiking surrounded in full blooms of heather. Did you see a bunch of bees in it? Oh my gosh, that would be so cute. So cute. Okay, hold on. Yeah, these kind of have a smell to them, but it's not really good about that. Maybe it's just a plastic. Or sometimes, you know, if someone has glued a magnet at the bottom, that can be what you're smelling, or lots of bees and butterflies. Oh, that's so cool. Right. Yep. Those are repurposed Jane Davenport tins. I hid the labeling because I don't really care about that. And I have so many stickers. Personally, when I make my paints, local honey is kind of a mandatory supply. Well, it has to be raw honey, and if I can get something that is local, even better. The only issue that I have with my honey is that it tends to crystallize really fast on me. So I always end up having to buy a new bottle because I can work with crystallized honey, but at some point it just gets too hard to get it out of the bottle. And also, if I need to tweak a recipe, it's much harder to mix in crystallized honey than smooth honey. Yeah, I think it's possibly Rachel Beth who made watercolors with like specific scents in her paints. But at least it was mentioned somewhere. Like, this smells like grapefruit, and you're like, okay. I've tried that. I've did that for a while with my jar. But hold on. Lee said, usually if you just put the whole sealed jar in a bath of hot water, it resets into a liquid. I've done that. It resets to a more liquidy crystallized honey, but I've never been able to really bring it back to completely clear and liquid. So I will use crystallized honey when I'm mulling, but I also often have well, sometimes I will just dip into the jar we use for like tea and whatnot. Because I mean, it's honey, right? And it's the same brand of honey, it's the same stuff usually. And that one will stay more liquid. But yeah, like when I put my mold paint in a jar and I'm waiting to see how it dries, if I need to add more honey into it, I don't want to have to mull it again. So I will find liquid honey and just, you know, mix it thoroughly. Yeah, I use the kitchen stash too. I will transfer it into a small like container or something before it, you know, I'm trying to avoid contaminating our kitchen honey, but I will use it if I need to. Yeah, exactly. One-way trip, jar, clean spoon, paint. That's it. If you need more, you take another clean spoon and you do it again. That's interesting, Tsukabu. I'm glad that a lot of people are giving handmade paints a try. I mean, it's really fun to understand how your tool is made. You should heat crystallized honey in boiling water, then it doesn't denature. Also, crystallization at 15 degrees Celsius indicates that your honey is... My honey is super legit. and my apartment is super cold. And Pico just said, "Moo, moo. Mom, shut up, I want to sleep." I don't watch Elemental. The one last week made me so happy and angry. There is a lab with a wall of pigments in clear plastic jars in direct sunlight. Oh. Well, you're gonna know soon enough if it's light fast or not. Oh, it must have been gorgeous. Think of the pigments. Oh my gosh, yes. Making watercolors is so interesting, but also I'm super clumsy, so I'd probably drop an entire bag of pigment all over my workspace. Yeah, that's a real concern, Grouchy. Some pigments are really more problematic for that than others. Like Indian Throne Blue is really, really fine and really, really light. So it gets everywhere. There was an episode of Elementary that had a part of it all around Prussian blue, and me and Otto were like all excited for it, and we were all like, "Wah!" And I was like scrutinizing the episode, and I was like, I don't want to give too much of the spoilers, but let's just say something was stained blue with Prussian blue pigment, and they showed the stained thing that is now blue, and I was looking at the stain and I was like, that looks more like they dipped it in PB15 rather than PB27. Like, they probably just used whatever blue they had around and not used genuine Prussian blue for this. And I was like being super scrutinizing, and Mr. E was like, who cares? And I'm like, I care! It's super important! Pigments! And it really made me laugh. And then I was talking about to Otto about it, and we were like, dude, that didn't look like Prussian blue at all. So that was funny. Elementary is still a really awesome TV show. I recommend it. Pigment life matters. Ooh. It's like, you know, when they have these things in shows where either someone speaks a different language, or like it requires some sort of really specific expertise, and usually in most TV shows they will wing it, you know, they will bring it to the point where they go like, good enough. And it always makes me laugh because, you know, for myself, I speak French, so whenever they like, sometimes in Elementary they had Sherlock speak French, and I was like, oh my god, what is that? Like, I struggled so much to understand, and I was like, oh good grief. And like at some point he speaks many languages, so he speaks Japanese too, and Otto was like, oh my gosh, his accent is terrible. And it always makes me laugh because I'm like, it's so funny to be able to spot these things, and you always wonder, like, to someone who doesn't speak Japanese or French, does it pass? Like, can they tell that it's really wonky? Especially in a show that's all about details. Yeah, that really made me laugh. The Prussian blue that was not exactly Prussian blue. Like, the way the thing was stained blue didn't make any sense. And we were like, it doesn't make any sense, and it's not the proper blue, so it was really funny. Did you see Boston had their straight... Oh no. Straight pride parade. Oh. So embarrassing. This is so cringy. Sherlock's Japanese is awful. His French is not really good either. I really enjoy Elementary, which is a bit of a dividing Sherlock Holmes fanbase opinion. I don't know, man. I really like it too, and Otto really likes it. And I know I personally really hated Moffat's freaking BBC Sherlock BS. It's almost as bad as Bryan Cranston's Japanese in Godzilla. Ooh. Oh, Elementary is so good. I can't wait to watch the... We're probably gonna just end up buying the Blu-ray for the last season and watch it then. Because it's one of my favorite shows. This is a thing that doesn't show as much anymore, but I'm a really, really big, hardcore, huge fan of Sherlock Holmes. Really, 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 really big. And I'm really picky about what I like and what I don't like. And the BBC one really killed me. It started okay-ish, and then it went so freaking wrong. And I was like, oh my god, why? And all the Guy Ritchie movies also killed me. I have yet to finish watching Holmes, the movie with Ian McKellen. But that was at least a lot more interesting than the Guy Ritchie movies and the BBC Sherlock. It looks so depressing, that's why I haven't finished it yet. It looks so sad and sort of serious that I was like, oh my gosh, am I up for this? Not exactly. What's worse, Sherlock speaking different languages? Oh, straight pride, by all means. Straight pride is much, much worse. I mean, Sherlock being terrible at speaking other languages is more funny than anything. Because you're like, nice try, but not very believable, sir. While straight parade is just... oof. Oof, oof. Absolutely shameful is what it is. Let's see, Sherlock Holmes dividing friends. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of friends that are as hardcore as of a Sherlock fan as I am, and I will like rant away at them if they tell me that they enjoy Sherlock. I mean, ultimately, they can enjoy BBC Sherlock. I personally don't care, but I don't want them to talk to me about it because I thought it was absolutely terrible and a really, really poor interpretation of Sherlock Holmes. But that bomb with the off switch, it had a few tiny things that were really interesting, but they ruined them. So, but Elementary was the thing that I was really unsure of at first because it's set in modern times in New York and Watson is Lucy Liu, which is a really strong departure from canon Sherlock Holmes. So you're like, huh, where are they going with this? And it's really awesome. No, you are, but I mean, we have yet to sit together at a table with like crumpets and tea and just like rant our ass off about Sherlock Holmes. And like you enjoy Elementary, so I'm good with you. You're not here telling me that BBC Sherlock is like the best thing ever, because I would be like, no, it's not. It's awful. Like, it might work as its own thing, but as a Sherlock Holmes thing, it's absolutely terrible. And it's not about the actors, because I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is an awesome actor. I'm having a blank on his name, but the guy that plays Watson is awesome as well. But it's the treatment of the character that is just abysmal. Oh, I'm sorry, Otto. We haven't had this really nerdy conversation yet. That's something we need to do. Because outside of the fact that you love Elementary, I don't think we've discussed Sherlock Holmes in length. So, like, in the same way that I haven't run my mouth about Sherlock, you haven't either. So we kind of need to... Why am I making James rage about Mark Gatiss' writing? Yeah, Martin Freeman, thank you. Bilbo Baggins. And that one season of Fargo that was really... What the fuck? He's having Gatiss flashback. I'm so sorry, James. Gatiss is the guy that ruined Doctor Who, right? Oh, I spared these two, Moffat and Gatiss. Just... bye. Some of the worst episodes in Sherlock were... Yeah, the bad episodes are Sherlock and are so abysmally bad. It's baffling. And it's all this weird nonsensical BS. And it got so drama and so serious and so so fast. While Elementary is really human, relatable, respectful and caring approach to the whole thing. Dude, it just made me want to watch them again. The off switch on the bomb episode. I don't think I've watched season 4 of Sherlock. I was like, you know what? I could spend this time doing much more fun thing than get mad at this terrible thing. And they made it so dramatic. Oh my gosh, but it's so dramatic all the time that you don't get to enjoy when it's not, and in comparison, enjoy when it gets dramatic. Like, it's... Yeah, let's talk about Elementary instead. The dynamic between Watson and Holmes, it rocks in Elementary, it works so freaking well. And I really went into this show with zero expectations. The pull was that I love Sherlock Holmes and this was a new thing. And we were like, well, let's give it a try, you know. First episode, yeah. So we watched it and I was like, holy crap, this is good. And we've been hooked ever since. And they've gone on 7 seasons and it's still good. Can you name a lot of shows that ran for 7 seasons and are still amazing? I can't. And yeah, I mean, Lucy Liu just is... Oh, she's awesome. I love her so much. Oh yeah. House MD is... Well, it's in a way, it's really connected because it's sort of a derivative of Sherlock Holmes. And it was really enjoyable at first, but it too got dramatic super quickly. And the thing about Sherlock Holmes is that it's not very dramatic, you know? If you've read the stories, I mean, it's about murders and crime and all of that. But it's not about the drama in Holmes and Watson's life. It's not about that. I kind of want Lucy Liu's aging genes too. She absolutely doesn't look like she looks perfect. She's so pretty. Yeah, House being stupid for Cuddy was like, ugh. Star Trek: The Next Generation, 7 seasons. That's good to know. But like, I cannot think of many shows. Like, I really still enjoyed Supernatural for what I've seen. I think I've seen up to season 12. There was one season that was really terrible, but then they sort of fixed it afterward. Like, it's not... it's really not eyebrow comedy series things, but Supernatural still works, which is baffling to me. Watson being violent with Holmes. Oh my gosh, the BBC show is such a nightmare. It is such a freaking nightmare. It's exactly like one of those absolutely awful fan fictions written by someone who has never read a single Sherlock Holmes story ever. That's what it is. Oh, like Margatis? Yeah, possibly. It's really obvious that Gatiss, or whoever wrote the BBC Sherlock thing, had a really surface level knowledge of the original material. Like, very, very surface level. He might be a bit bitter about Margatis. Ah, you're telling me. Oh my gosh. Okay, a question for you guys. Was Benedict Cumberbatch in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy? Or am I making this up? He was good if he was in that. He was good in whatever movie I'm thinking of that one. As that one. Oh, what's up, Pickle? Brr. Plump. And now she's back to her cinnamon bun position. Like I love Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor, and he would work as a Sherlock. Like I don't think the issues with that show fall on the actors. It definitely falls on the writers and the way it was directed. Because oof. You know what it reminds me of a bit, the BBC Sherlock one? It kind of reminds me of Adam Sandler movies. In the way that nothing is really actually deep in there. Like, it's always kind of surface level. And I'm just like, no. Hey, Alex, hi. Yeah, I agree, Ellen. It was trying to update it too much, making Sherlock... Well, that's not even an update. That's like a complete kind of sort of moving it around. Because whether Sherlock is a sociopath or not is not necessarily what should be focused on. It should be kind of more how that type of behavior affects him in life, you know. Like, putting a label on him is not really important. Drama, let's resolve nothing and drive you crazy with it. Yeah, that's a good description of it. I'm glad I make I'm glad I made James laugh with my comparison. High functioning sociopath. Oh my god, get out. Get out! I can't. Like, Elementary goes through 7 seasons of development, and they use like 0 labels for anything. Barf. I can't. I can't. Like, if there was not Elementary, perhaps I would give it like, it would be more depressed, but I'm just glad that there's Elementary to sort of give me a good fix and show the world that it can be done well. Well, I'm really glad I got you guys into it, because I think I tried to get everyone I can into it. Just because, regardless of whatever, it's a really good show, and it's really nicely written and put together. But I mean, I'm so glad that I was able to contaminate you guys. Because if you like Sherlock, I mean, this is a really, 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 really good show about the concept of Sherlock Holmes. I personally really enjoyed The Detectorists as a series as well. It's a great public service. Watch this thing, it's good! But yeah, I was able to get one of my friends, the one who adopted Linus, to watch The Detectorists, and she got into it like a lot, and I was like, I'm so glad you did, because it's a really great show as well. Like, I'm really attracted to shows that depict characters that you can relate to and that feel human, and that show was really awesome for that too. Doesn't have anything to do with detectives or not, but it's just, well, while talking about good shows, this is one that I really enjoyed. Yeah, but the thing is that I don't think Sherlock is supposed to be sassy. You know? Yeah, the Mary storyline was a trash fire. Oh my gosh. It was the worst trash fire. It started so bad and it didn't get any better, and I was like, bleh. Yeah, the Geddes stuff, or whoever wrote that stupid first episode of BBC Sherlock, the way they wrote the forensics guy, like, they wrote him like exactly like Adam Sandler writes characters. He's there just to be made fun of, and I'm like, what? This is dumb. Extra shout out for the detectors. Yes! Yes, someone else! Awesome! Yes, Cleo! I5. Oh my gosh, it is such a fun show. It is so, like, it's such a pleasure to watch because it's so relaxing. Like, it's not high stakes, it's not high drama, but it's super entertaining, super well written, and it's beautiful. I mean, the place they filmed this in the UK, it's just like gorgeous, and I'm like, and I love the actors, and like, oh my gosh, it's so good. The mansplaining woman suffragette that's the one that I was like, you know what? I am so done with this. Like, that's it. Like, I was piling up. They're like, I don't like this. Well, maybe it will get better. Maybe it will get better. Nope. Nope. Not gonna get better. I'm done. Bye. Oh my god. No, thank you. Yeah, calm, steady, and then it wrenches your heart out. I agree. Oh my gosh. You get so attached to the characters in Detectorist, and you don't even realize it. And everything they experience, it's nothing like... It's not like when you watch one of those almost soap-like shows where someone gets brain cancer out of nowhere and you're like, what? With Detectorists, it feels like they're your friends and you really can feel what they're going through, like on a really personal level. Oh, I love it so much. I still have to watch the 3rd season of it because it was not on Netflix. I saw season 1 and 2 on Netflix, then realized there was a 3rd season, but it was not on Netflix. I was like, what? And then they removed it from Netflix. And I was like, I don't think you would cry buckets. Most of it's kind of more of a comedy slice of life thing, and it's not really like big drama, as far as I know. Let's try to keep the discussion on it spoilerless. But Cleo can tell me what she makes of it, like if my assessment is accurate or not. But the friend, like the friend I recommended to watched it, she called it her feel-good show. Yeah, that's a good one. Small, everyday sort of drama, poignant. Well, Elementary is 7-8 seasons of stuff, and Detectorist is 3. I say start with whichever one you want, whichever one you have access to. They're both really good. I kind of want to rewatch Detectorists now. I've really grown more. Oh, this is a Pentel brush pen, the really basic one. I find that as I get older, I'm more picky about what I watch, and I find myself really going more towards the stuff that is more about humans and the way they interact and the way they connect and how life affects them, like their reality is what I'm really interested about. And we've been watching Mindhunter too, which is really sort of harder to watch because it's about, like, I'm not a fan of serial killers and serial killer stuff. It's not appealing to me. Like, you know, Netflix has all these shows about, like, I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to make these serial killers more human? Because I'm like, dude, you gotta stop. I'm talking about Mindhunter. It's basically the story of how the FBI came up with their process for dealing with serial killers. And you see it mostly through the eyes of the FBI agent who helped build up this program. But it's also really intense because they have to deal with serial killers, like humans who have such a weird mindset and weird reality that it brought them to this point in their life, you know. So it's I haven't watched season 2 yet, so no spoilers. But I'm really fascinated by the way that they show how they try to understand the serial killers, because the difficulty is that you're a regular human being with empathy, with emotions, not a sociopath, not a psychopath, and they're trying to understand sociopath and psychopath, and it's really fascinating to watch how they manage with that. And also a really nerdy thing about Mindhunter, it is so beautifully shot. Like, the storyboard geek inside of me is like, I'm tripping every episode. The way they stage the scenes and they place everyone so that the angles they shoot are super interesting. I'm always like, whoa, this is so clever. You did not get the final episode of season 1. And that you did not watch it, or you did not get it? Oh, the cinematography is like, I'm like, whoa, this is so beautiful. Like, it's because ultimately it's not exciting in itself. It's like basically humans talking to other humans. But they really worked hard on the cinematography to make it interesting to watch. Like, even if you don't necessarily are aware of it, like the way it's composed, the way it's shot, it makes it interesting. It makes scenes about people talking like a lot more fun to watch than they would be otherwise. Yeah, I agree with Stacy. Hi, Stacy, by the way. I've just rewatched everything of Mindhunter season 1 in preparation for watching season 2, because I was like, I don't really remember what happens in the first one, so maybe I should watch it again. And I did, and I was like, ooh, this is so good. And yeah, it was, I don't want to, maybe I will talk about this with Otto after, because I don't want to spoil it. Kemper, the actor, is amazing. The guy that plays Brudos is also freaking scary. I'm like, good grief, how do they... This is such like amazing performances. And even the guy that plays Holden is like, he's kind of mesmerizing in his performance. If we get into humans watching humans not being interesting. That's a fair point. But yeah, the oh my gosh, the last episode really shows that actually, like, this kind of stuff will get to you even if you think it won't, and you might not even be aware of it. And I was like, good grief. And also Kemper, holy moly, like, they do an awesome job at not humanizing the killers. Like, you get to know more about certain serial killers in there, but you never get to a point where you're like, oh, poor guy, I understand. No, you don't understand. There's nothing to understand. These are like a different kind of human being with some huge problems. And like, who is Holt McCallany? Which one is he? I've tried watching The Alienist on Netflix, but I didn't really like it. He's the other main guy. Bill Tench? The older man? The older man! Yeah, he's really, really good too. Robert Paulson. Holt McCallany. I'm confused with all the names there. I was really surprised to find out that the main the Wendy Carr character in Mindhunter is the lady from The Fringe, because I tried watching The Fringe and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not for me, and I quit. And I was like, oh, she's the lady with all the mathematical symbols going around her head and going like, whoa, I'm thinking. But she's really good in Mindhunter. Like, you wouldn't think that she was in something like Fringe. Oh, his name is Robert Paulson, is a quote. I have yet to see Fight Club again. I think I saw it when it came out and haven't seen it since. Oops. Yeah, that's the same woman, I think. And I was like, oh, she's actually a really good actress. The Alienist is the one based on the Carr novel, yes. I read the novels and I was excited to see the series, but I give it a few episodes and I was like, boof. Like this. And I stopped watching it. Don't talk about oh yeah, I forgot the first rule of Fight Club though. I really remember the scene about the trash bags and the fence. I would say it's one of the most like striking scenes of Fight Club. No, I'm not a purist too. Like Elementary just is definitely an adaptation, but the thing is that things like, well, in this case the Alienist, but going back to Sherlock Holmes as well, there is something in the original material that is the core of it and that is important for, in this case, me. And if something is an adaptation, but they keep this core kind of true to what it was, I have no problems with it, because I will find what I like again, but in a way that is brand new. And to me, that's kind of what an adaptation is about. I haven't read the book in a while, but I remember liking the book The Alienist, and I think they did a better job in the book to kind of make the characters relatable. Because I was watching a TV show and I was like, I stopped watching because I was like, I don't care about anyone in this. Who cares about this guy? Who cares about this other guy? Who cares about him? Who cares about her? I don't care. I got something else to do. Bye. So that's basically what happened. Certain things trigger Ev, like BBC, Sherlock, and Catman Warcraft. Yep, also red, yellow, and blue being primary colors is a good trigger. And I'm unable to... I'm not the kind of person who will be able to deal with shows in a way like... Sometimes people are like, oh, it gets better at the 3rd season. I'm like, yeah, good for you. I'm not gonna watch 2 seasons of awful stuff in the hopes that I enjoy when it changes in the 3rd. I mean, I might not like it. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna waste 2 seasons. I got other things to do, you know. I got shit to do. Oh my god. What? It's like Game of Thrones. Like, I tried watching it and I was like, nope, not for me. Bye. It really picks up around book 5. Nope. I agree. That's a big fat nope. It's like, can I start at book 5? If so, I might give it a try, but I'm not reading 4 books that I will hate just so I can maybe... Because, and you know, tastes, they change depending on the person. Like, someone might like book 5 and I might think it's really not good. Hold on, I gotta go get some water to paint this and be right back. feels good to get up a bit. I hurt my knee, I don't know how. But it really doesn't like being in the same position for a long time. I want to try watching American Gods because it has Scully in it. And I'm like, oh, I want to see what that's about, but I'm not excited for it. I've heard that The Boys on Prime, Amazon Prime, is also interesting as a series, and it has Carl Urban in it. I'm excited. Oh my god, can leaf blower guy get lost? Oh, I think he heard me. Va-t'en avec ton leaf blower de merde! Ah! Oh yeah, Carl Urban as Judge Dredd, Carl Urban as Eomer. Carl Urban as... What was that really short-lived sci-fi TV show he was in that was actually really good? I don't remember what it's called, but it was good. It was canned after one season though. And stupid, they aired the season, the episodes out of order. Which is so freaking dumb. Sorry. Oh, bugs of paint, that's bad. Am I weird? Is it an unpopular opinion that I don't really love Ian McShane? I tried watching the Deadwood, and like everyone I've heard talk about this show, they all loved it and they all praise it. So me and Mr. E were like, well, let's give it a try. And we watched something like 2 seasons. We watched many episodes. We watched the full first season for sure. And then I don't remember if we watched the whole full second season. But anyway, we watched enough of it and I was like, I hate this. And I looked at him and I said, I hate this. And he said, I hate it too. I'm like, it's not good. He was like, it's not good. And I'm like, okay, let's stop this. This is nonsense. So I don't know, maybe I need to watch more stuff with Ian McShane in it. I really didn't like Deadwood. Ugh. Yeah, was it Almost Human? If so, that was really not bad. I loved it. He's an acquired taste. Yeah, I don't know. I was starting to read Dead Omens. What? Good Omens. Meh. And I had this image of Mr. Wednesday in my head, and then he showed up on screen, and I was like, oh, perhaps my reading of the book is a bit too fresh. Like, this, to me, when I first saw him, I was not like, oh, this is Mr. Wednesday. I was like, who's he gonna... he's gonna play Wednesday, right? Ugh. But, I mean, that might not mean anything. I should probably give it a try. Oh my god, what? I don't understand why I didn't like Deadwood, but I gave it a good try. You can be assured of that. I gave it a good try, and I went in with the idea that it was good. Like, I didn't... Sometimes you go into a thing and you're like, I know I'm gonna hate it, and it's already, like, affecting your impression of the thing. But I really didn't have any bad impressions when I went into Deadwood. I didn't like it. I really struggled to relate to the characters in a way, like... do I have to warn about spoilers for a show that is as old as Deadwood? I will try to keep it really, like, limited in spoilers, but there is a huge medical emergency regarding Ian McShane's character at some point. And everybody is, like, so emotional about it and so sad, and everyone's crying around it, and I was like, I feel nothing for this character. And I was like, oh my god, where did I where did it fail to connect? Like, I should probably be in the drama of the moment, but I was not, and I was like, who cares? What's gonna happen if he dies? Like, it's not clear. Like, it was like, why should I care about this guy? It was very limited. Like, they didn't show enough to me, something that made me feel like I had to care about this guy. And I was like, well, I don't care. I really don't care. Hey, hello. Do you want to come over here? Come on. Come on, baby girl. Come on. Whoop-a-doo. Hey, salut bébé. Salut bébé. Salut bébé. Yes, that is Scout. Scout baby. Hey, Mimi. Qu'est-ce qui se passe, Minette? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Proche peut-être. Fast and Furious 9. I wonder if they'll come up with a really witty pun about the title. Oh, tu es bien belle. Tu es bien beau chat. Tu es bien beau chat. She's being super cute, guys. "52 roads. We only have like 60 roads." Aw, yes. When a grumpy girl really gets into the scritches. That's a good description. Hey, baby. Hey, mon baby. Quoi ça a de l'air tes allergies? Oh là là. I don't know if I can show you guys. Do you want to show your face? Look at her face if you can see. Can you see her face? Show your face. Show your face, baby girl. But you can see around her eyes, like she's really scratched off all the fur around her eyes because of her allergies. Hey, Minette. Hey, baby. Yes. Oh, on va frotter la face. Hey, Minette. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Yeah, it's difficult to have allergies when you're a small cat. You're like, I don't understand, why is my face so itchy? And then you try to scratch yourself, but your hands are literally full of blades. So you hurt yourself. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? T'inspectes? C'est pas facile, hein? Edward Kitty Hands. That's a good way to put it. We usually say it in a way that would be akin to saying like she's full of stabbies. Yeah, scritching the neck is one of the best spots to scritch. Are you purring? You are purring, you big baby. Don't eat the eraser bits. Oh, that's awesome, Heather. Heather is saying that she's distracted by her cats. Bruiser and Havoc have the zoomies, complete with crashing into the door and attacking the shower curtain. Aww. It's really hard to teach cats anything. Yeah, baby. Oui. Oh, tu es toute contente. Tu es toute contente. Tu es toute contente. Catch. Claw's nails in the mittens. That's a good way to put it, too. Yeah, baby. She's super itchy. Oh la la. Cats are pointy on 5 ends. That's a good way to put it too. Ah, you're purring so loudly. Well, for her. Oh, I thought you had farted. That would have been funny. I don't know about that. She hates going to the vet, so that's like the stress of bringing her to the vet has really got to be worth going to the vet. So we have kind of the cream they gave us that I can put on or inside her ears. Usually goes rather well, but whenever I try to put it around her eyes, she will wash it off. Even if I try to distract her with food or playtime or whatnot, as soon as I stop, she will start washing off her face. And I'm like, this cream is supposed to be good for you. You should keep it there. Pauvre petit chat. Used to be worse though. It used to be so itchy that she would really like scratch off skin enough to have wounds on her face. Now it only happens in the ears, and I think it's possibly because the skin in the ears is more sensitive than the skin in her face. Well, you guys, this is today's live stream. Live cat pitting. Oh no, I ruffled your fur. You're losing. You're shedding like crazy. Mine used to get steroid shots periodically when she was super scratchy. Yeah, I need to look into the one vet that does house calls. But the thing is that they don't share their prices on their website, because I looked for the microchip thing. Are you done? Is it enough pitting for now? What's up? And yeah, I was like, usually when they don't put the pricing on the website, it's usually because it's super expensive. Hold on, I will give you a lift. Yeah, I will give you a lift, you pile of claws. Now, push that. Oh, well, you stink. Did you fart? You totally farted. Black. Tu pues. Tu pues. Tu pues. Dérange pas ta soeur. Reste couché là, toi. Okay, good. Yeah, I will call them or email asking about prices, definitely. But I also still have to convince Mr. E about going for it. And there's been a bunch of expenses lately, so he's not super keen on adding more expenses to the the recent expenses. So maybe I'll wait a bit, but yeah, that's definitely something that I will have to look up. I was really glad to see though that the guy has really good reviews, so that really cheered me up, because you never know, like, I saw all kinds of vets. I saw good vets and I saw terrible vets, so same for doctors, so I always try to see reviews, but the at-home vet that Otto found, actually, it looks really good, so I will definitely be calling them or writing to them, inquiring about costs. Yeah, I mean, they might get even more business if they share the prices, because that way people know what to expect. It's either they don't contact them because they think like, oh, they don't put the prices, it's going to be astronomical, or they see the prices and they're like, oh, it's out of my budget, so they don't have a surprise when, like, they don't make the whole like process of reaching out to them, getting an appointment, and then they learn the price and they react badly to it. So I'm like, yeah. Oh my god, there's so many cat hairs everywhere. Okay. Oh my gosh, Bruiser. Can't believe you farted on me, you old lady. Stinky butt. And yeah, there's all this stuff like, is it an emergency? Is it something really, how serious is the situation? Like, all of that. But yeah, I definitely want to get them chipped. And also perhaps ask him about what he can do for this allergic one. I'm also very thankful that we only have one allergic cat so far. Like, even if Pecco develops allergies at some point, she will have spent most of her life allergy free, so that's a relief. For Scout, it's kind of like the other way around. She's had allergies for a really long time, and it took us a long while to figure it out. No thanks to the vet we saw at the time. This is another one of my famous rants. The one about the stupid vet who refused to acknowledge that my cat was possibly allergic to chicken. I love zoomies. Is it post-poop zoomies or pre-poop zoomies? It's usually closely linked together. Oh, oddly enough, I don't think that was dry enough. Huh. That's weird. That doesn't happen often. Oops. I am mad at my ex-vet since I lived that story too. The part that I enjoy of this whole mess is that I no longer see her at the like, I think maybe she was an intern, maybe she was too bad and they fired her or something happened, but I haven't seen her at the this is taking forever to dry up. But yeah, I was really worried, like, when we went for that instance and met up with that vet, and I was like, ugh. And I was like, okay, that vet was a really crappy one. At least in that moment. I don't know what she's worth now, but that time she was crappy. And we eventually had to return to the vet, I mean, cats. And I was like, oh no, is it gonna be her again? Or I don't know, oh, maybe I asked about a different vet. Yeah, I think I did that. I don't remember. No, I think I called and I was like, I was gonna ask if we could see a different vet. And they gave us an appointment with a different vet anyway. And I don't think the one I saw works at that clinic anymore, if she works anywhere at all. Not to be overly mean, but that really was not her best moment in life. Not her best judgment call at all. So yeah, the current vet we have is also the one I saw with Linus, and she's so sweet. She's really funny. And she was also like, I think everyone who met Linus fell in love with him. When my friend called to talk about adopting him, the person she talked to on the phone was like, like the employee at the clinic was like, I wanted to adopt him, possibly, but I already have a Siamese cat. And my Siamese cat is too territorial and picky, and like it's too difficult to bring in a new cat with him. But like everyone wanted to everyone fell in love with Linus. That made me happy too. Yeah, wash your bum, you bum. Yeah, there are some crappy vets, just like there are some crappy doctors out there. I'm really thankful that I have I feel like I have a kind of a clear mind when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like whether it's scams or things that to me don't make sense. I'm really resistant when something doesn't make sense to me. Like if they can explain it to me and it starts making sense, I will be like, okay, fine. But like if they explain stuff to me and I'm like, no, this is dumb, I'm gonna be really, really resistant to changing that opinion. So when she was like, well, it's only 10% chance of food allergy, I was like, wait a second, this is dumb. Linus is the, I mean, I love my cats, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade, but Linus is the most adorable cat I've ever seen. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Hey, there are 2 cats now, and well, we'll keep the camera on Pecco, but I have the 2 cats with me. All the girls in the office. Nee, 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 nee. Linus does win the cute award. Honestly, like it's a bit baffling. Oops. I always do Pecco's markings wrong. I always forget where's the white. I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, 10%, that's a really high percentage. She was really stuck on this idea that 10% meant that my cat couldn't possibly be allergic, which is really dumb and makes no sense. Aww. I'm telling you guys, Linus is like impossibly adoptable. Like it's over 100%. Like even people who cannot have cats are like, I kind of want him. Wait, can I get him? Is there a way I can get this cat? I'm really glad that you guys were really supportive of him, Otto and Heather. It means a lot to me. Cat on the left. Well, this one is gonna be Scout. This one's gonna be Pecco. Yeah, Linus's adaptability percent is well over 9,000. Absolutely. That's interesting. Amisha says, the best vet I had were always the ones who treated farm animals too. More down to earth, more practical, and they don't treat a pet owner like they're stupid. Oh my gosh, that's the part I hate the most. Though I gotta say, they sort of, like, my clinic is the same, but they had kind of a weird overhaul not long ago. And it has affected a bit the way they work, and they are so, what's the word I'm looking for? They will fight to get every single penny. They are owed. And they're kind of expensive too. Like one time they called me because they forgot to charge us something that was like $21 and I had to pay them with my card on the phone. I was like, you kind of forgot to charge us. Then you should maybe like take it on yourself to cover this one since you forgot to charge us. Like it's bad, but I was like, dude, how is it my responsibility that you forgot? Anyway. I'm sorry, Peko, you're gonna be... Why is this ink not dry? This never happens. What the... What is going on? Yes, Stingy. I think Stingy would work well. Like, I was thinking of Scrooge McDuck. Or just Scrooge, like... avarice? Is that the word? Oh, outside here it's cicadas and planes and cars. It's super sunny out there today. It's a really nice day. First day of September and it kind of feels like fall, so I'm really happy. Yeah, exactly. If I forgot to charge someone for 21 bucks, I would also, like, I mean, companies, they have, albeit small, but they have a thing for losses, like, the same way, like, grocery stores have one when produce goes bad and you cannot make money out of it, you know? And I was like, I didn't want to argue with them because we still have to do business with them for our cats, but when they called me to settle the $21 thing, I was like, oh, well, you didn't pay that $21. And I was like, yeah, well, you forgot to charge us when we were there. And I was not pushing it to not pay because like it's kind of a weird impasse to be in. Like they apparently need to be paid that stupid $21 and I need to be able to do business with them again. But I was like, that's fine, I will pay. I was really stressed out too because they were like, oh, you forgot to pay for these tests. And I was like, shh. Dude, vets are expensive. How much is it gonna be? Oh my god, it's gonna be expensive. And I was like panicking and she was like, it's $21. And I went, oh. Well, okay, so it was a mix of relief from the fact that it was just $21, but also a kind of confusion from the fact that I was like, it's just $21. I mean, you make a lot of money. You overcharge, like, the 10 minutes that Linus spent with the vet cost us $80. Are you kidding me? Like, what the F? What the F? Oh my god. Yeah, it was like, dude, mistakes and human error needs to be more acquainted for in everything. Did I draw this on the wrong side of the paper? I did not. And that was like $21 on top of an $800 bill. I was like, if you could see my face right now, I was really like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh my god. my god, $21. Sorry, it just cracks me up because I'm like, what? Anyway, I mean, they provide good service and they've sort of renovated the space, so now it's a bit more, it's a bit better. Like, it used to be, like, the table for examination used to be like, you know, like kitchen counters. And I was like, I don't have any issue with the fact that it's kitchen counters, but it's a porous surface. I'm not sure. Now it's all a metal thing. Oh, Otto! That's okay. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope you have a great evening. Guys, if you don't follow Otto, by all means, please go check out her channel. It's all about watercolors and pigments and colors and being an artist, and it's a really, really awesome channel. And I'm pretty sure most of you follow her and know her, but if you don't, please make sure you go check it out. Oh, say hi to Jazz for us. Little Hamo. Cute little Hamo. I could so go for a donut right now. It's not a mystery why I need to lose weight, guys. It's absolutely not a mystery. I'm not deluded. You know what? I never heard the whistlers again. You know, the whistling people who passed by who cracked me up so bad? I never saw them again. I'm a bit bummed out. It was so funny. Doesn't help here that we have an event once a year called the Pig Out in the Park. I'm sorry, what? That sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, what? Pig Out in the Park. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't like it either, Pico. Mom, what's the noise? Yeah, I can't say I don't understand how I gain all this weight either. This here temple did not build itself, guys. Oh my. Not saying that's a thing that needs to remain as it is right now. It's something I gotta work on, but yeah, there's no mystery whatsoever how it got there. Like, I know I don't have thyroid problems or like medical issues. I just love sweets. A ton of food stands, mix of healthy foods and deep fried cheese curds. Deep fried lasagna. Oh my god, what? That sounds like a really fun time though. Oh my gosh, how can you be so cute, Peko? Mine's not so much a temple as a weekend amusement park. Yep, that's a good way to put it. you guys Canadian friends? Are you familiar with beaver tails? The treat, the food. Oh my gosh, you found a place in London that has poutine. Does it have the squeaky cheese? Does it have the squeaky cheese? Mine looks like a demolition derby result. I'm sorry, this is kind of sad, but I love the visual. Oh yeah, so you're familiar with beaver tails. Okay guys, so if you're not familiar with beaver tails, it's basically a flat donut in the vague shape of a beaver tail. If you've seen a beaver, like they have this flat tail that they use for something. And we have a Canadian delicacy, junk food, that is like dough, flat dough, deep fried, and they put stuff on it. It can be, from what I remember, you can have Nutella on it, you can have sugar and lemon, sugar and cinnamon, and I'm pretty sure there are other flavors you can get onto your flat donut. But it's basically a flat donut. And it is so good, but it's a flat donut, guys. Can you imagine, like, your meal is poutine and then a beaver tail? Oh, the poutine has the squeaky cheese. That's legit. That's good work. I'm curious to know if it's a business that is owned by people from Quebec or Canada. Oh, it is so good. It is really, really tasty, sweet thing. But it is not flaky. That's interesting. It's really like a donut dough, so it's doughy. Hey, Jazz! Oh my gosh, yes! We're talking about decadent junk food, Otto. Yeah, there's a chain that sells beaver tails in all the tourist hotspots. There's a bunch of them here. It's basically called just, I don't know what's it called in English. I'm guessing it's called beaver tails because in French it's called queue de castor, which is basically beaver tails. I've always been kind of a cinnamon and sugar person. I mean, I would probably go for the Nutella one too, but I feel like sugar and cinnamon is a good balance to the dough. Okay, a beaver tail. It's like I was saying, it's a flat donut, and they sometimes will, I don't remember, but I think they stamp this kind of checkered pattern on it, like really roughly. But it's a flat donut. They take the dough, they flatten it out, and it's vaguely the shape of a beaver's tail. And it's thinner, so yeah, it can get a bit crispier. But it's not flaky in itself. It's really more like a dough, like a donut would be. And once it's deep fried, like a donut, you can season it with sugar, cinnamon and sugar, lemon and sugar, Nutella, and possibly other weird stuff on there. There has to be one that's about maple syrup in there. There has to be one. Deep fried chocolate Twinkie. Oh my gosh. I support anything with donut in the description. Yep. I stand by this. Ah, donuts. Why are you so not vegan and full of milk? There are a couple of places on the island that have vegan donuts, but they're all far from me, which is probably a good thing, considering. Makes me sad because I love donuts. Sugar and lemon, sugar and cinnamon, Nutella and strawberries, peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and Reese's. I'm sorry, what? Oh, that's gotta be so sweet. Reese's are very, very sweet. Oh my gosh. Like all the other ones, you have kind of a balance. Like You have the sugar, but then you have the lemon. Oh, that balances out. And same thing with cinnamon. And then you have the Nutella, but strawberries and peanut butter and jelly. That's starting to be very sweet. Peanut butter and Reese's, though. Would you like some peanut butter on your peanut butter? Hold on, I need like peanut butter, Reese's, and then crushed peanuts on top. Just to be sure you have peanuts in there. Montreal has an amusement park called La Ronde. I don't know if it has a name in English, but it was the first time I saw beaver tails, whatever. And it used to be associated with going to the amusement park for a really long time. And I was kind of surprised when I moved to this town, to Montreal, and I realized that they have beaver tails like in other places too. And I was like, wait, it's everywhere. But then I was a student and I was kind of too poor to afford to eat them. And now that I could possibly afford one every once in a while, I don't know. They kind of look like none of the joints I've seen selling it look really clean. Like the employees look miserable. The place looks kind of a bit dirty, and it's always full of tourists and not very relaxing. So I'm always like, and I chicken out, and I'm like, what? Another time. They get kind of crazy indeed. Deep fried battered Morris bar. Oh my gosh. Hey, Josephina, hi. Yeah, it's gonna be like the maple option's gonna be like a good part regular sugar or regular syrup or glucose or something. A bit of maple and then some flavorings, because that's the usual cheap way they go about this. There is a place in the old town that is called Britain Chips, and they serve fish and chips, and they have deep fried battered candy bars too. I remember they have Reese's. They have others too, but I can only remember the Reese's for now. Oh my gosh. Donuts. Oh, have you tried it, Ellen? The deep fried candy bar. Why are we torturing ourselves? Do you mean by talking about this stuff, or by inventing this stuff and then eating it? And then going like, oh, this was the worst idea ever, and then eating it again like a couple of months later. Both apply. Oh my god, wow. Oh my gosh. Ellen says, I used to work in restaurant kitchens. Our favorite game was, will this deep fry? That sounds amazing. I'm kind of bummed that I worked in a restaurant once, but I was like washing the dishes, and it was a fancy restaurant, so they didn't deep fry anything. Don't deep fry raw eggs. Don't deep fry gnocchi either. They explode. Hey, Mallory! Hi! How are you? Let's just say we needed to change the oil after the eggs. Oh my gosh, did it explode? Yeah, gnocchis. I saw it on YouTube. But if you try to deep fry gnocchi, they explode. So you have exploding balls of dough full of really hot oil, and it's super dangerous. Oh, you just got back from the fair. That's really timely. We're talking about weird fair food and deep fried stuff. You set a wall on fire? Oh my god. Wow. I'm impressed. I am impressed. That's some good shenanigans there. It was fixed by a quick repaint. Oh my gosh, what? Deep fried butter. If you can hear deep fried butter and you don't feel your arteries like clenching, you are a superhuman. I think deep fried butter and like my liver is just like, oh, why? And my arteries are like, why? And my body's like, nope, never. Deep fried wasabi. Deep fried ice cream is a science mystery to me. How can you deep fry ice cream and it doesn't melt? I don't get it. Do you get it? Do you know? How does it work? Very quickly. Yeah, I guess so. Roll it in cornflakes, huh? I'm trying to think of what I consider the best deep fried thing. I think it's a tie between donuts and tempura. Deep fried Nutella, ugh. Ah, Jazz. Jazz, I'm painting your very distant cousin-ish cat. Or something. Cousins. Brown with ginger bud. Really, Pico. Ouais. Qu'est-ce qui se passe dans ton monde de chetons? like half ginger. That's hilarious. What's the ice cream you picked up, Heather? Aww, Jazz, you're so cute. She looks so soft too. Do you have to brush hamsters? Or do they like sort of brush their own fur by the bath they take? Aww. She's uber soft. She looks like it. She really does. Oh, long-hair hamsters, huh? Zoomies round 3 has commenced. Is it the same contenders as the other rounds of Zoomies? Is it still Bruiser and Havoc? Just keep each other occupied. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's really cute, Stevie. Stevie says, enters David Attenborough. Here sits Jazz, watching the strange humans habitually meeting and socializing. She wonders what monsters eat beaver tails, then curls up and falls asleep. I can really picture him saying that. Someone says, one of my favorite print beer ads was for Moosehead. The copy read, "No, we don't actually make it with moose heads." That's funny. I used black paint with a tiny bit of the sepia brown too. I've been trying to use black paint for black cats, and I think it kind of works well. It's also kind of much quicker than trying to mix a dark enough color. Oh. Oh, Havok is tiny. She's a teeny tiny kitty. Hey, Zasha, hi. Yeah, at least some of us got to have donuts. Oh, fun donut story. You know, I talked about the cat cafe I used to like going at the beginning of this stream. And they would have these awesome vegan donuts there. And the flavors we would usually get when I went with my friend was coconut and lime, which is basically kind of like a plain donut but rolled into shredded coconuts and lime zest. So really tasty. And also the cinnamon and sugar one. And once we went there, and like I got up, I don't know, maybe to get water and napkins or something, and my friend looked away for 1 second, and when she looked back towards the plate, one of the cat had stolen her donut. And he was like on the edge of the table with the donut in his mouth, and he was like, uh-oh, and then he just ran off. And eventually he dropped the donut on his way. It was for a size of a cat, that was kind of a big donut to carry around. But we laughed so much about the donut stealing cat. So that's kind of what inspired me to draw the cats eating donuts. No, I think Scout is just pondering how she ended up with what is gonna be the rainbow sprinkle donut. Funfetti. Oh, I said your name right. Well, I'm happy I did. That's awesome. I read it basically like I would read it in French, I think. Zasha. That cat is yours. Which one, Scout? Oh, just pick, hold on. Do you want me to show it in the live stream, Otto? I can go get my phone and do that. We'll go get my phone anyway. Ouch.
Hello, baby.
Oh, good grief. Don't let me close all this stuff. Oh, oh, she's so sweet. Come on, come on. Guys! She has such big ears. She's so cute. We can see the ginger bum over here. Ginger bum. She's so cute. She's so cute. Thanks for sending the pic. That's Jazz the hamster. The half ginger hamster. That's right. Half ginger is better than no ginger. I can get behind that. It's funny because a lot of dudes are actually half ginger, and you don't really notice it unless they grow a beard. And then you look at their beard, and their beard is like completely red, like my hair red, like no doubt it is ginger. And you're like, Your secret is out, mister. Mr. E is a half ginger too. I think a lot of people are half gingers because it's a recessive gene. So it's been passed down recessively for generations. But it's there. And it kind of shows up in weird places like beard and I don't know, stuff. Yeah, that's a lot of guys are like secret half gingers. And I'm like, the plan is working. Okay. I'm really glad I don't have a face cam because I'm making the ugliest faces ever. Half ginger is full-blown crazy. Yep. Gingers are taking over the world. Secretly. No one is gonna be able to stand the sun. Freckles. Freckles everywhere. Yeah, that's the thing with the ginger gene. It's not one that will overpower other genes. So usually people get two genes for coloring of hairs on your body. You get, say you get a brown gene and a red gene. Well, the brown is going to be the dominant one, so it's going to take over. Except it might show up in places like beard for some reason. So that's why kind of a lot of people might not appear to be redheads, but it might just be that they carry this redhead gene as a what's the opposite of a dominant gene? I can't find it. Anyway, it's there, but it's hidden. Yeah, it's a secret society that you can only enter by growing a ginger beard. That's awesome, Stevie. Yeah, our timing is really terrible. Recessive, thank you so much, guys. It's a recessive gene. I got two red hair genes, so I'm like, they were both recessive genes, but when that's all you have, that's what shows up. That's really funny, Otto. You brought your husband back to his homeland of Scotland. Yeah, genetics are really fascinating, honestly. Like, I only have a really, a really, like, basic understanding of it back from my biology class in high school, but I always thought it was fascinating to have this sort of order of things that happens depending on whether another thing is there or not, and like, I don't know, it's just fascinating. It probably has a really fancy word for it, like mathematics or whatnot, but I'm an artist, what do I know? Oh, that's awesome. Kitty genetics are my favorite. Heather says, and the way you get torties, like Scouty, Scooty, this is weird, is through codominance. One red fur gene, one black fur gene, both are dominant in cats, and share space on kitty. That is so cool. What happens with calicos though, because they have the white one too? Do they get three genes? Calicos and torties are weird and awesome. Are hamsters good climbers? Like, can they do it good? Huh. So Heather says for calicos, codominance of red and black plus a different gene for white called piebald. I hope I said. I always wonder, is it piebald or piebald? Which I believe is recessive. Wow, that sounds really cool, Lee. Piebald, okay. So Otto says they're good climbers, but they fall off so easily. Yeah, I saw her fall. That was kind of funny. I think it was even funnier because it was kind of like a night vision cam, and you see this huge thing fall first, and you're like, whoa, she's like shuffling stuff around, and then you see her like blop, fall down next to it. She looks like she's having a blast though. Like everything you've shown me about Jazz doing her jazz stuff always makes zero sense for us, but she looks like she's having fun. She tumbled, she barreled there. I think there's a part of it that the smaller something gets, the more resilient it is. Like, not necessarily in relationship to something that is much bigger, but if you take like insects and whatnot, they fall incredible heights and nothing happens. Like, I've seen cicadas fall from treetops and they're fine. And that's a one hell of a fall. I mean, it's how many times is it their height that they fall? It's kind of impressive. I mean, not that you should drop like something like a cat or a hamsters from that height, not what I'm saying, but proportionally, like, it feels like smaller things are more resilient to gravity. Oh yeah, I saw her. Her favorite game is so funny. She's reckless. Hey, the ultimate wolf flare. Hi. Tsikabu says, my tortie fell off the back of the couch once and still glared at me. It's your fault, Mom. I totally meant to do that. I blame you. Yep, that's pretty much. Oh my gosh, Mallory, that sounds awful. Whoa, Ellen, whoa. Ellen says, tell me about it. I was cutting the lawn on the 4-story tall tree, and 2 squirrels were fighting. One fell, hit the pavement driveway, then in 30 seconds shook it off and back climbing. That's a good moment where you go, what? Yeah, the whole nonchalant grooming of I meant to do that. Yep. What? That was intentional. What were you saying? Oh no. What happened, Mallory? Did your back, like, did the pain let go for a bit and you were able to climb down? Lazarus squirrel. Oh my god, what? Oh, that's funny. What's your cat name? I want to know. Well, I have 2. One is on camera right now, and her name is Pecco. The vets, they really struggle with the names of, well, with her name actually. She's been called all sorts of stuff that are not her actual name, and we kind of laugh about it. Last one was Pecoe. I'm like, what? Mind you, like, this is all from a French perspective. She was called Beko at some point, which is basically like a small kiss. Like something you would give on the forehead. And she was also called Picot, which I think it exists. I know it exists in crochet. You have the picot stitch, but it's basically like a dot. Peko, P-E-K-O-E, like orange Peko, like the tea. That's how she got her name. She's orange, so we named her Peko. Yeah, Picot. Do you say Picot or Picot or whatever? Picot? Yeah. Lazarus. I'm not much on. I'm not big on religion, but Lazarus has been referenced enough in many things that I kind of have a vague idea of what it's about now. I just did draw for you guys. Yeah. This stream was started 3 hours ago, so it's gonna be ending soon. Picot! Yeah, maybe it's the tea is called Picot in English, but in French it's Orange Picot, so it's stuck with us in French. Yeah, Orange Picot. See, that's funny. P-I-C-O-T. If you say that one like Picot, that's exactly the French pronunciation of it, Picot. And the T, well, I guess that depends on where you're from, but like I said, since I'm technically more French Canadian first, we say Pecot. Which is why they call her Beko and other weird stuff that makes no sense. I'm glad you guys like the painting. I mean, I didn't venture really far out of my comfort zone. It's cats and cobalt teal, so... Oh, can I show them, Otto? Oh, she's so cute. The ginger bum. Oh, we see the ginger bum. That's a really ginger bum. Okay, are you guys ready for the ginger bum? Ta-da! Ginger bum. That's funny. It's so funny. Okay, and Otto sent me another one. Hold on. Aww. She's so lovely. Ginger bum? Ginger bum does whatever ginger bum does. The words. I don't know how this song goes. Look out, here comes the ginger bum. Yeah, of course you're proud, Mom. You have to. She's so cute. Such a good little girl too. She's so I really like because what you've shown of me of her, and the way she sort of does all her barreling and tumbling in her cage. It really looks like she has an agenda. Like she has her Hamo planner and her Hamo like projects and deadlines. And she's like, today I really gotta get this tube thing moving. Okay, guys, let's go, push. And like, it's a bit funny, like, a bit like how she builds up her own stories in her head, in a way. Amisha says English is terrible to learn because we blatantly steal words from all over the world, then mispronounce those words. Well, everyone kind of not mispronounce words, but we all do. But we all borrow words as well. Like I can say that for the French Canadian part of Canada, we've stolen quite a bunch of words from English, and we've sort of Frenchified them, which is kind of weird at times. But it's always funny when I see things like a couple of the more recurrent ones are like cliché, niche. Hold on, of course I don't have them in my mind right now, but there's a couple of words that are, a lot of them ends with the E with the accent, the A sound, that are definitely borrowed from French, and I always laugh a tiny bit when I see them in English stuff. It is so niche, and I'm like, oh my god, niche. Niche, it's like a secret corner. Anyway. Climbs a wall, tumbles off. In Ontario, the standard pronunciation for the word croissant is something god-awful, but if you order using the correct pronunciation, things go bad. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if you try to order with the say the proper accent for things, people might not know what you mean. So that's kind of an issue as well. Sadoichi. It's Sando. Sando. Frenchified. In my opinion, Japan does a really good job about borrowing words because they use an entirely separate alphabet for the borrowed words. So you kind of know right away when you see this alphabet, you know it's going to be a borrowed word. So it puts you in the different mindset of trying to decipher the sounds and link them to the word rather than being prepared for a different language word, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, niche like niche. And like, niche. You have a niche in your niche. Versailles. I had to think about it a moment and then ask for Versailles. Oh my god, no! Versailles. Addicting. What about addicting? Addictive, no? There's touché, cliché. There's one that's related to lovey-dovey stuff too. Can't remember it right now. Addicting. Yeah, there's quite a difference between completely butchering the language and mispronouncing a weird-ish word. Like, I can understand someone who says niche like niche. It's not right, but I can I feel like I can correct them. Maybe they just don't know. But when someone says addicting, you're like, it's sort of the reverse situation. I can understand someone saying addicting if English is not their first language and they don't know any better, you know. Oh yeah, I agree. Lee says, likewise, the parade of Brazilian superfruits that trend at hipster restaurants. I've had so many arguments about people that are trying to argue with me that it's chia seeds instead of shea seeds. I'm like, nope, it's definitely chia seeds. And it's kind of it's a bit problematic in French because it's really, really close to the word we would translate as pooping. So people are a bit reticent to say chia because it sounds like something else. It's Versailles. I can say it again. Versailles. Versailles, Versailles. It's addictive! Addicting. I'm gonna be addicting to kicking your bum if you don't say addictive. Also, if you only speak English, please try to speak English. Oh my gosh, ouch. Yeah, Versailles. Though, yeah, that's a thing that happens sometimes. Like, you have to pronounce things in reference to its context rather than to its proper pronunciation. Yeah. It's pretty difficult because a lot of words are not... A lot of sounds don't really exist in, like, English. Just from French to English. Like, the end of Versailles... yeah, sigh is similar, but it's... Like, it's close enough, but it's not exactly the same sound. And it's kind of weird, too. There are a bunch of words like that where you try to... Sometimes I try to find a way to express, like... I'm gonna say it in English because it's easier for... to refer for you guys, but Tintin. It's Tintin in French. And I've never heard anyone speaking English try to say Tintin properly and have it sound right. It always sounds weird. And they go Tintin, and I'm like... I'm so offended right now. I'm like, nope. I'm done. Gone. Bye. So done with this shit. I'm out. Calumet Farms is Calumet. Ooh. Pronunciation. That's the kind of mistake I would make, though. Yeah, that's kind of weird with Versailles. It's everything, like in French, you have a bunch of words that end with this I-L-L-E stuff. And like you can have O-U-I-L-L-E and it's going to be OI. But you don't really say, like, it's a compounded sound. Like, this bunch of letters make this sound. But you don't necessarily pronounce every single letter of it. So it's really weird to try to explain this kind of stuff to people who are not familiar with it. Because yeah, if you try to pronounce every single letter of Versailles, you're gonna end up with a really weird word. But the thing is that the A-I-L-L-E-S, it's one sound. It's like code. It's like when you see these letters, it's this sound. The end. So yeah, weird stuff. Oh, that's interesting. Lee says, I went to a French school in Toronto growing up. We had a Franco-Ontarian teacher whose last name was pronounced Bates, spelled B-E-I-T-E-S. Yeah, that's something really interesting that happens with the French Ontarian communities. It's how the names evolve in there. Like, I had a friend who was from, like, he was technically from Ontario and spoke English, but he had a really, really French Canadian name, And it was funny because like when you approach him, you go like, "Hey, your name is French name McFrench," and he didn't really speak English, so that was really really kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. Hey Mallory, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, we're gonna be ending this quite soon. Basically just rambling. I mean, I enjoyed the rambling, but yeah. Alan says our parish priest was named Burke growing up. Spoken as Burke. Well, is it Burke or is it Bourque? Because in French it's Bourque. I like... Oh, millefeuille. Yeah, see, that word feuille is another one that has a bunch of letters that you don't end up pronouncing every single one of them. It's another one of those code sounds that, like Versailles and the others, when you see all these letters, it's this sound, the end. It was pronounced Burke, but spelled Bourque. That's funny. That's confusing. The athletic... Hold on. The athletic director at my son's school was Dubois, pronounced Dubois. Oh my gosh, that's so confusing. That's so confusing. I am so confused. Oh, that's hilarious. Like, you can't win. Like, I'm like, hey, I can speak French in English. And I can't win. I'm like, oh yes, a name in French. I can say it right. Dubois. No, we say Dubois. I'm like, oh, why? It's written Dubois. Stop it. Oh, I lived in Dubois. Dubois, Wyoming. Oh my gosh. Dubois. Sounds like a Rammstein song. Sorry. Yeah, millefeuille. Trying to think of a sound that would be similar to the œil of feuille. The F part of feuille is pretty straightforward. It's the F sound, but the œil. Would possibly be similar as if you were trying to say I, but with the E-W-Y-E, like œil, possibly. I was turning corrected and had a hard time keeping a neutral face. Oh my gosh, I would have had a hard time not rolling my eyes and be like, but it's a freaking French word. Du boys. Oh, at the same time as the Catholic... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, what? That's really, really a bad time to argue for the pronunciation of Du Bois as boys. Du Bois. Oh, that's so bad. Oh my god, that's so bad. That's like terrifyingly bad. The butchering of French surnames in Afrikaans is also really fun. Do you have an example? Oh, Cajun French. That's a different French completely. I still cringe. It is very cringy. Yeah, Du Bois is gonna haunt me all day. Especially in context of it being the name of someone and related to priesthood and whatnot. It's like, oh my god. You had a really good opportunity to turn this in your favor by going, no, it's French, it's Dubois, haha. No, instead you opt for the worst possible way to pronounce this in the worst possible context. I'm terrified. I'm like, no, but you had such a good opportunity here. Why didn't you take it? You could have gotten out of this mess. Oh, anyway. That's his problem. It kind of happens here too, like Quebec is mostly French Canadian, you know, but we still have, like, I think English is maybe the second language. Anyway, it's a prominent language regardless. So we have like news channels in English, and we have like radio stations in English and all of that, but they still have to talk about things that have really French names. So it can be really weird sometimes to listen to these outlets and try to figure out what they're talking about. Especially when they try to refer to like other cities in Quebec, places that are definitely more French Canadian than Montreal. Yeah, you can say Montreal fine, you can say Montreal, that still kind of works. You can say Quebec, that's kind of good. But then you get to places like Chibougamau. And yeah, you gotta say Chibougamau. You cannot really say Chibougamau. It doesn't work out. It just doesn't. When you get asked for an example and the hamster in your mind falls off the wheel running and screams into the abyss. Oh, that's fine. No worries if you can't think of one. It's interesting to know regardless. How do you pronounce Bexar County? Question. Do the French find the Canadian brand... Oh, yeah. Usually, people from France, the actual French people from France, they make fun of our accent and they don't really understand us. And it goes the other way around too. Like, we make fun of their accent and we don't really understand what they're talking about. Though I think we have it worse because we really speak... Sometimes we mumble and we speak like we have a hot potato in our mouth. Oh, it's... So, Bexar County is Bear County. And they put an X in there just for fun. Huh. Okay, sure. I think it was originally pronounced like a Spanish che and got lazified. Beher. Dude, I'm not really good with Spanish. I apologize. It's like Texas versus Texas. Yeah, I can see how it could possibly evolve to be an X, but... Alternatively, you can be from British Columbia and speak French and not understand either Quebec accent or a French accent. Oh, you can be from, is it called Acadia in English? It's on the eastern coast of the eastern provinces. It's Acadie in French, but they have a really, really specific language over there too. That's kind of a mix of French and English. It's really unique too. Canadian French is quaint. That's a cute way of putting it. It's like the lumberjack version of French. French Canadian spoken French has a number of conjugation quirks, like adding extra subjects in the middle of sentences and things that drives French people from France batty. Screw them. Who cares about French people from France? Pfft. How would you say Nel, Duplessis, Dutoit, Malin, Joubert, De Villiers, or Pienaar? Like that. I'm pretty sure that's not gonna be right in any case. Lumberjacks are just the cowboys of the north. Yeah, instead of hoarding cows, they hoard tree trunks. Yeah, the Newfoundland accent is pretty unique too. In the same way, though, French from France kind of drives me insane. They tend to borrow a lot of words from English and just say the same words but with their French accent instead. Like, we have a word for shopping that is the translation of shopping, but they will say shopping, and every TH sound in English is gonna be just a bunch of S's. And like, this is so annoying. Make an effort or do something. Try! Oh my god, grouchy. That's a lot of resentment. That's a good point. Ellen says Quebec French and Newfoundland English have been separated from where they came from for more than 500 years. The difference is understandable. Yeah, that's what happened. So du toit is like du toy, or pinard is pinard. Pinard. I tried. Though South Africa has a really interesting kind of cultural makeup too. If anything, the most boring places are the ones that haven't had any outside influences ever. But every place that has been like, even for good or for bad, every place that has been a mix of things end up with a really rich and unique result, whether it's language or culture or architecture or anything. I tried. Rolling R's is kind of difficult in French too. It's difficult for me anyway. I don't know if French rolls a lot of R's. I said R in French. R. Aw, cutie cat. My cats are cute. You guys can see Pick over there, but there's also another one. Nope, that's me. There's another cat over there. There you go, pretty girl. Danish R's are straight up obnoxious. How? Alright guys, I'm gonna be ending this. I think I need a lozenge and a break from speaking. It's been kind of a long stream, guys. It's been fun though, a really fun one. I really appreciate that you put up with everything again. I know you're gonna say, well, we enjoy it, but still, I'm really appreciative that you spend the time to be here with me and chat about random stuff and talk about cats and paint stuff and have fun, I hope, and watch at cute cats. This is a very cute cat. Saying a cat is cute is the easiest thing ever because all cats are cute. Like, I don't feel like I'm biased when I say Peko is cute. I feel like that's a given. She's a cat equals she's cute. Anyway, thank you so much guys for being here today. Special thanks to Otto and Heather for being the awesome moderators again. Heather doesn't have a channel, but Otto does, so if you are interested in learning more about watercolors and watching more videos about being an artist and all of that, I really encourage you to check out Otto's channel. I also would encourage everyone to check out the people who are in the chat, because I can see I see Lee has a great channel too. I'm gonna forget people, but I think Tsukabu has a channel. Like, a lot of us have channels, so if you're looking to add content to your YouTube feed, by all means, the chat is a really good place to start. So that's about it. Again, we have a Discord server for chatting. If you want to come chat during the week, Discord is basically kind of an application or a software that allows you to chat with other people. And it's a lot of fun, and we have a big blast over there. So Otto put the link in the chat, but it's also in the description below. And yeah, I think I'm gonna forget stuff, because I always do. But if you have a question, check the description first, and if not, you can write to me. That's fine too. So have a really great Sunday, guys, and we will see each other quite soon. Bye!